The views and opinions expressed in the following program do not reflect those of the station and or Confederation College.
Aliens, ghosts, reptiles, and shady governments. Have you ever seen things which aren't there? Or looked up in the sky and wondered what's out there? Maybe a cold hand on your shoulder, a ringing in your ear. All that and more on today's episode of Conspiracy Hunters. I'm Professor Adam.
And I'm just Mitch.
And we will be your hosts on this journey
Of uncovering what is true.
and what is fake.
And welcome to Conspiracy Hunters.
Today we have a big list of guests and mysterious interviews.
You're going to probably find out some stuff you didn't know, but also find out some stuff that you might have known already.
Why don't we get right into our first guest here?
I
Just
think it's a good idea.
he is a man of mystery,
A man of pride.
and he's our favorite Martian.
Yes,
Please welcome.
Mike Moore. Hi, Mike.
Hey, Mike.
Well, hello
How-
to both of you.
How was the trip down here?
Well, it was slow going.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all those gravitational pulls.
Oh, I know.
All
Screws
right.
with your head.
Yeah. So I guess our first question, just to get right into it, we've already heard your name, but perhaps you have like a different alien name.
Yeah.
So we would like your name, age, and species.
I don't have an alien name. It's just Mike Moore.
Okay.
Age is 16 Celsius. Yeah,
Okay.
And species is Homo sapien, I guess.
Okay.
Okay.
We thought maybe you'd be part Martian, coming from Mars.
Yeah.
To start off our first theory that I think everyone knows, that you believe we came from Mars.
Well, there's a couple of theories that I kind of work on. Mars is one of them. When you think of the billions of years the solar system's been around, you got to look at the sun is not staying as hot as it was 2 million years ago. So it's kind of cooling off. You remember the progression of planets. There's Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So Mars probably would have been a nice warm planet 2 million years ago. So as the sun cools down, so does the planet, right? So if you look at it from a point of view of somebody was living there, where would they want to jump to? The next inhabitable
that's
planet.
true.
So they jump off to Earth and leave Mars to cool off.
Yeah.
So
and
that's just a theory.
there are ice caps in the polar regions of Mars too, so there is some hard evidence there which scientists can't really say no to.
But to be an opposing view, how would you explain that we don't remember anything? If we did come to Mars, how would we forget the transition? Is there someone like controlling us?
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say, I don't think we forget anything. It's just what we know when we grow up, right?
So
You
you're
know,
saying
so it's
we're
not-
told lies.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say lies.
Well, there was that library which burned down 1,000 or so, maybe a couple thousand years ago. The library of Alexandria, where maybe they had all of the ship's manifestos.
Oh yeah, because we did lose a lot of records then, so it could have been there.
Yeah, and you look at, too, there's been theories about Atlantis being an advanced civilization. Where is it now? Well, how many millions of years ago did that comet hit the Caribbean Sea there,
Yeah.
the Caribbean Sea? You know, it could have been anywhere in, around Bermuda, and it would have got wiped out completely by the meteor.
Yeah.
Like half the population of North America.
Yeah.
So maybe it's in the Bermuda Triangle kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
that
Because
could be.
no one could, everyone, all their planes and stuff malfunction there. So maybe that's why they're just trying to hide it.
It's theory.
It is a theory.
Yeah.
Now, on humanity's great escapade from Mars to Earth, do you think we brought any species with us, and perhaps they brought foreign diseases which killed out all of the dinosaurs, or do you think that was?
Oh, it's possible.
Yeah.
I mean, the Noah's Ark theory, this theory, story, it's in the Bible, whatever. Half of those animals, or most of the animals, could have come from Mars.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
never know.
Noah too might be an anagram, or no, I don't know what it's called, but
An alien.
NOAH. Not only animals here, because they
Wow.
were humans as well.
Ooh, that's
Mind
good.
blown.
Yeah.
That's
That's
good.
Yeah.
So if we're Martians, say we did come from Mars, and people say they see aliens in the sky, is it us checking up on us, or is it a different alien species watching us?
See, there's another theory with that.
Yeah.
It could be that Earth is actually a penal colony.
Oh, like Australia.
Exactly. Where did we get that from?
Oh.
Memories, right?
Yeah.
You know, most humans, not all humans, but a lot of humans have criminal tendencies. You know, whether it be murder, crime, fraud, you know,
Yeah.
Stealing
even
packs
to
of
the
gum.
point of, you know, shoplifting,
Yeah.
you know. So we have that criminal tendency in us. So if you look at the diversity of people on in and around the world and how they're displaced all around, what if you had a federation of planets out in the different solar systems that said, you know, instead of we're going to be humane with most of our criminals, we're going to drop them off and let them survive on their own. And in different places so they wouldn't intermix until they grew in population and maybe learned a few things about humanity. So that's kind of a theory also.
All right, now just before we get into more conspiracies, I want to turn the microphone over to our boy at the board here, Billy Bones.
He has
do
a
you
question.
have any questions for Mike Moore?
What do you have to say, Billy? He's been waiting a long time to ask
Yeah.
this.
Oh,
He told us about it.
oh yeah.
Yeah. So I see you could see Billy Bones now. What is your question, Billy Bones? Oh, I'm hearing.
Well, he's like a little bit shy.
Yeah, he is.
All right.
He'll tap into our heads.
Yeah. Oh, I think it was. Hey, that's funny. It's a really good segue right into what else you believe in. Billy's over there saying,
Good job,
"Hey,
Billy.
like, I love this Mars thing, but like, this guy's got a whole lot more going on, and I want to know."
Yeah, Billy's really deep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, he's at the bottom of that peanut butter jar, just digging for those juicy little
Yeah.
morsels.
Billy wants more
Yeah.
conspiracies.
More
A juicy one.
conspiracies.
Yeah,
Conspiracies or
Where do you
truths?
start?
that's true.
You know, the Americanization of Canada.
Oh, do tell.
Well, the pipeline, for instance, right? There is a article back in 2014 from the Financial Post that said all those protests in Vancouver to stop the pipeline and keep it from being built. The protesters, there were a few that were hired by a company in Los Angeles, and that Los Angeles company was sponsored by the oil barons in Texas. And what they wanted to do was keep the pipeline from being built so that the oil in Canada would be landlocked and have to flow down to Texas at a cheaper price,
Okay.
you know? So therefore, the Americans are trying to control the economy of Canada. Well, look at the tariffs, you know? And all the things they're doing. They're pulling the GM plant out of Oshawa. There's a whole number of things that are happening that are controlled by the Americans that, look, Sears, you know, American company, where did they pull out of first?
Yep.
Canada.
Yeah. Heinz pulled out of Canada as well.
And also Walmart in the States, people say they're building camps to hold people in there. That they closed the Walmart and then they're doing tons of renovations to never be open again.
Yeah.
So what is America really doing?
Yeah, you got to ask that question.
Yeah.
Reptilians, maybe?
Oh, yeah.
They say they're real, or Illuminati. Maybe it's not a worldwide thing. Maybe it's America taking over.
Yeah.
It could be.
Well, don't forget the Illuminati is part of the symbol of the Masons.
Yeah. On
Yeah.
on their dollar bill.
Yeah, the Americans got that on their dollar bill.
Yeah. Spooky.
That is spooky. Good job, Billy Bones. Good question.
Yeah. Thanks, Billy. Now, what other sorts of truths do you have to like let loose on our show?
Truths?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I always wonder. Canada is now in the procurement stage of getting new fighter jets,
Okay.
right? Now, you guys are way too young to remember the Avro Arrow.
I've learned about it, but
I
I,
heard
I
about it.
didn't exist.
Wasn't it a plane that was like way more advanced than everything else?
That's
and
right.
then they destroyed it because
Because why?
Didn't America destroy it because they didn't want Canada to have too much power?
That's right.
Yes.
The Non-Aggression Act that was diefenbaker between Diefenbaker and the president at the time. I can't remember whether it was is it Eisenhower or something? I can't.
Something like that.
Anyway, they signed that Non-Aggression Act that Canada wouldn't build any airplanes because that would be an act of war against the Americans because whatever. So.
Yeah, so that's all been a lot of pretty deep things, and I think we need to just sit here and like digest it.
There's a lot to take in.
Did you buy a parking pass for your UFO?
No, why would I need to park it?
Oh, no.
Ooh, you might want to go and check that
Yeah.
out.
They check the roof.
Yeah. Thank you so
you for
much, Mike,
coming
though,
in.
for being on our show.
And until next time, you should probably go check your parking ticket.
Yeah.
They're pretty strict here.
Sounds good.
All right. See you later. All right. Yeah. So a lot of that was some pretty interesting stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, we learned a lot. And leading into that, we now have a mysterious guest that we're not going to announce their name
Yeah.
for safety.
But it was weird. Like last week, we got this videotape in the mail, and
Yeah.
it just said A plus M. Watch this, and there was like a weird red stain on the packaging.
Yep.
So
And ever since watching it, I've had a weird buzzing in my head. I don't know if it had something to do with watching it, but I'd say if you feel a ring in your head when you're about to watch this, then maybe you should go to a doctor.
yeah. However, it's informal. It is very good theories. Dare I say truths?
Yep. And we are gonna for safety block them out, but we'd hope you join this little segment. Yeah, it's gonna be a good segment.
Enjoy.
I think we are a alien zoo where they come and just observe us like you would a ordinary monkey in a cage. I lived out in the country and I noticed that the sky was blacker than other parts of the sky, and it was also moving, so it caught my attention. And I followed it, and as I followed it, it flew over me and blacked out the stars, and there was silence, there was no sound. And I remember going to run into the house to tell my father and my mom and Jason, my brother. But if I left, I would have missed it, so I didn't want to miss it. So I just kept watching it, and I was traveling probably about 40 kilometers and steady pace, and just kept on traveling out of my view. It wasn't a plane. It was nothing I've ever seen from that day on. I've had the Mandela effect happen, yes.
Can you name a couple that you've experienced?
Bernstein Bears was the first that I noticed. The spelling change was Stein to Stane. It was always Bernstein, not Stain. And then I think Captain Crunch, it was Cap'n Crunch. And then it turned to Captain Crunch. And Star Wars, there's many in Star Wars. C-3PO was a solid gold robot. Now he's got a silver knee and calf.
Can you tell me what your thoughts are on the Illuminati?
It's all in books. You just gotta do the investigating, but it was started by Albert Pike. Well, he was one of the top chiefs, and they want a one world government, one world order, all ruled by one. And yeah.
Are any celebrities in it?
I don't know, but if you watch music videos, there's tons of symbolism of Illuminati. Like one-eye coverings, making triangles, doing 666, the OK symbols. And
Do you know any of the secrets of Area 51? And if you don't, can you tell me what you heard that they're hiding in there?
it's just a cover up another secret place, so that's the one you're looking at, not the actual one. I don't know where it is, but
So do you think that Area 51, when you look it up on the map, it's not the actual place?
no, it's the actual place. It's just, I don't think it's where they have UFOs or aliens. They have unclassified documents now that they're doing tests on black holes, stargates, anti-gravity, lasers, laser weapons, satellite weapons, parallel universe. That's where the government money goes to.
Okay. So why aren't they telling us any of this stuff? Why do you
Because
think?
the majority of people can't take it. You take them out of their comfort zone, and it's you're ruining their life.
9/11. Do you think that was an inside job of?
I know 9/11 was an inside job.
Yeah.
Just by physics itself, buildings don't disintegrate after being hit by a plane. Disintegrate to dust and fall into a nice, neat pile.
So what do you think happened? Like bombs or?
I think the government has its ways. Like, I think their technologies are way more than what we know and what they tell. I think their phone's 50 years old compared to their technology that they have. It's 50 years old.
The moon landing, do you believe that's fake?
Yes, I believe the moon landing's fake. They made a lot of money from NASA to tell people that they were going to the moon. You don't just send people to the moon and then stop. And then lose all your footage and lose the technology, how you got to the moon. And now all of a sudden they're saying that they can't go to the moon. And because, yeah, I don't know.
What about flat Earth?
I don't know. There's so many lies and distruths, but I don't see why they would say the Earth is flat unless there's an alien connection to it. Just to say it's not flat to say it's flat. If it is flat, there's something on the other side or something that we don't know and they don't want us to know, and we're not allowed to know.
So do you think that the government's saying it just to hide something?
I think that the government doesn't even know because there's secret societies, there's secret governments within the governments.
That was pretty crazy.
Bit too crazy. I felt that ringing in my ear. I put this on for safety, but the only problem is it really scrambles your brain the longer you wear it. So I don't know how long I'm gonna be able to wear this without popcorn going off.
Yeah, but
So
our little friend Neil A here, he's very used to it. So
we protect Neil A. Also, unfortunately, Billy Bones over here does not have one. But
yeah, well, like he doesn't really have a cranium. He's more of like a spirit and
that is true.
a toy. But
We heard a lot of things from our mystery guest. Maybe one day he can come forward and change the world by telling his name and just saying what he's got.
yeah. So that kind of leads into our next guest. There's a gentleman who decided to come into this studio and just open up about what he thinks about Earth.
Yeah, a lot of people think that it's round. A lot of people think that it's flat. But
Yeah.
for him, it's a bit of a mix. He talks about his opinion and what he really thinks about the Earth.
Yeah, so I think we should tune into his next interview. Oh,
my head.
Mitch. Uh-oh.
Oh, it's not working.
Roll it. Roll the...
Hi, my name's Jerry. For everybody out there, first off, I'm neither part of the cult or against the cult. I don't believe in flat Earth, but as well, I don't believe that the Earth is round. I believe in very little of anyone's philosophy, religious points of view. I believe the only way you can believe in something is if you believe in your own truth. But the flat earthers, you know, I've been reading their stuff over the years, as well as the globe guys. The flat earthers, you know what? I think there are two main points of contention or with this whole flat earth theory. We've really not seen a picture of the globe from outer space or any space photo. Yes, and I'm sure everybody knows NASA will present several hundreds of photos from outer space. But in this world, everything goes through computer-generated imaging, CGI stuff. And with the ability to do anything you want with a photograph on your own computer. And I've just recently looked at another guy, and I wonder, it's a puzzle to me of why they cannot get accurate mapping of the continents. And there seems to be one of the flat earthers. And of course, there's this horizon line thing that they have. Really, they've sent balloons up with a camera without a fisheye lens and so on and so forth, so that you can view the horizon line. And you know, it's this ships disappear over out of sight, bottom first, which means they're going over the curvature. And that, I think, has been disproved. It's a question of our own capabilities of vision, much like the mirage thing that goes on in deserts. So they're still arguing over that point of view. And the big one they have these days, they track airline flights, commercial airline flights. And I think everybody realizes and knows that there are no flights, no matter what they say. There may be military flights that fly over the Antarctica, but there are no commercial flights. Now they've gone as far as banning travel in, I forget the name of what they call the sea between the southern tip of Argentina and Antarctica. Based off of some endangered sea bass. So that means you cannot even go there in a boat anymore. And as we all know, they have military establishments there. So these kind of things always feed into one group's side of the argument as compared to the others. And of course, the flat earthers take that up. The other thing about flights they've been doing, tracking commercial flights and tracking emergencies. For example, they tracked a flight, now, I believe it was out of Buenos Aires, flying to Frankfurt. And of course, if you look on the globe, that's a northeast flight out and across the Atlantic Ocean. And somewhere out in the middle there, a lady was giving birth, went into labor. So then they've got recordings of the pilot flying in for the closest landing. And it came across to him that he had to land in London, England, which is a puzzle, because when you look at a globe, obviously it would have been quicker to go straight into Frankfurt than to go back northwest up to London, England. So their theory on this is, again, if you take the globe and you put it out into their flat earth model with the North Pole in the center, you would have to fly over England to get to Frankfurt, because Buenos Aires, of course, it would be spread out, so on and so forth. If you got several of these emergency situations where they simply had to turn the plane around or go to the nearest and it doesn't fit in with the travel. You know, and they've gone to the point of timing flights, so on and so forth. So I think that's two of their big sticking points. Why are flights not allowed to go over Antarctica? And of course, from their point of view, you can't. It's impossible. You could fly circular or semicircle around with it. And, you know, again, for myself personally, not as a conspiracy, but why do we as part of the human race, why is everyone except for military personnel and scientists allowed to go to Antarctica? The biggest surprise to me about the flat earth situation is the amount of people who have come out against it. You have a list of every scientist, professor, who's the TV guys? Bill Nye, the science guy. If you look at the number of people that believe that we live on a flat earth, it's got to be such a minute percentage of people on the globe, and yet you have all these guys that are so up in arms. Why would they just not ignore this whole situation? It's YouTube videos. Like, everybody's being taught to ignore half the YouTube videos out there because it's all just silly and garbage. Throw it out. There's only one truth, and that's your own truth. And for it to be your own truth, it has to be exactly that. You're the one that has to figure it out. You're the one that has to study the story. You're the one that has to turn into the believer. And when you have that belief, then it's your truth. And it doesn't have to be anyone else's.
That was some pretty interesting stuff. We hope
was.
you stuck around.
Literally.
Yeah.
And maybe next time you're out on a boat, maybe fishing, just look ahead and see if it curves. Because
Yeah.
usually it's straight, but who knows?
Yeah, right. You know, curvy or
Or like flat Stanley. I don't know.
flat Stanley.
Flat
Yeah.
Stanley.
All right.
But to continue on,
Yeah.
we have a little alien segment coming up. I know you and me personally have had some alien experiences. If you wanted to tell the audience.
Yeah, so my first one, it was when I was kind of young, but I used to go to Terrace Bay on the weekends, which is, you know, just a little town on the north shore of Lake Superior.
Okay.
And what would happen, like this one time, we were going past this water tower on the lake, and off in the distance over Lake Superior, there was just this hovering, like, dome thing.
It's creepy.
And so I looked over to tell my dad, but you know, I looked back and it was just gone. So I don't know.
That's creepy. I had one where I was at this little lookout thing, and it was the middle of the day, and I was like, wow, that's a bright star for the middle of the day. I was like, oh, that's cool. And then we were staring at it thinking nothing of it, and then all of a sudden it started moving, and I was like, is that moving? And then before I know it, it just zipped off and was gone. And I sat there, I think, for like 20 minutes just thinking, did I just see that? Contemplating my whole life. But
Oh yeah, yeah, and like I had another kind of thing like that too, where I was sitting in my living room. It was like a dark kind of stormy night, you know, like how all of those stories start.
yeah.
And this giant ball of light just comes down and sits in the middle of my street, and then suddenly it just kind of like bursts out, and there was this wave, and all of my electronic devices turned off,
Yeah.
and then just came right back on. So
And
Yeah.
if you know anything about aliens, there's always a theory that they have EMP style weapons to turn off all our electronics and just black us out.
Yeah.
Which will work perfectly into our next segment where we actually talk about aliens.
yeah, so if you're interested, you know, just contact us if you have any tales. But here's a little clip of when our highly specialized crew went out and talked to various locals of our city and learned about their own personal alien experiences.
Yep. Enjoy.
Anyway, I was actually sitting at home. I was having a few beers. Next thing I know, I was in this spaceship. I was drinking this green slime, and man, I was flying high.
Woo, perfect. A lot of people say yes. Me, I think I would say yes, because we can't be the only beings out there. I mean, we're on one planet. There can't be somewhere out there in space. There has to be some other form of life out there.
Yes, actually I have. When I was 17, I lived in Kingston, Ontario, and the three of us were walking from a place where we lived in a town. We looked up and we saw what looked like a triangular set of lights. As it turned out, it was over New York State, and it was made the newspapers the next day. So whatever it was, we saw it. So it was spooky. So we were a little stoned, so it might have enhanced the experience a little bit. I mean, not me personally, but my friends were.
Yeah.
I would say yes, I believe in aliens and extraterrestrial beings, because I believe that scientists have found proof, but then again, it's still a conspiracy. Some people believe it, some people don't. I still think that the U.S. is trying to hide aliens in Area 51. That's the largest conspiracy that people believe in, and I believe in that too. So yeah, my final answer would be yes, I believe in aliens.
Much time as you need.
Okay, so I did have one, right? I was sitting out on a balcony with me and my buddy, and we started to notice that it looked like there was a satellite going by, but the problem with that little light that we had going past our head is that it looked like it was blocking other stars. I just see you smiling, but I'm not even joking. So we're watching it go further, and we're like, that's kind of weird, but whatever, right? And then suddenly, it does a hard right turn and just goes in a different direction, just takes off, and then it just like disappeared, and it was really weird. So yeah, got me freaked out.
I know it because I seen it too. When me and him used to go hunting, we kind of would see shooting stars. A couple hours later, there'd be shooting UFOs. Then all of a sudden, a couple hours, they'd be sitting there. Kind of cool, actually, too. Kind of cool. You can see kind of just glowing like that, like a saucer, like a whole light going around like that for like a couple hours straight.
Totally, man. Okay, one time I was at work. I work at the foundry, and I was sitting outside. It was like late night. It was like probably 1 a.m. I was just like having a smoke. Then I look up, and there's this like, it was not an airplane. It was not an airplane. It was just like this green and red light sitting in the same spot for literally an hour. It didn't go anywhere else. Like, and someone's like, it's a satellite. I'm like, no, it's definitely UFO. Oh my God! Another time, I was like, sorry, I was like driving out in the country, like way out, like John Street Road, like going to skateboarding, and like. I was just driving, and then all of a sudden this green light flashes in the sky, you guys. Like, how do you explain that? And, like, I didn't just see it. Like, my passenger saw it, too. And he was like, what? I don't know what that was, but can't tell me that was an airplane. The airplane doesn't move that fast. So that's, like, my two things.
It's no conspiracy. I've been there.
You been to space?
Oh, yeah. Have you ever seen Men in Black?
Yeah.
Oh, they're nothing like that. They're thick, and they like to party.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Nice. So how about for aliens? Yeah, the same? Aliens?
Yeah, they're green. They look kind of like American Dad. What's that guy's name? Roger. Yeah, they kind of look like that. But about 6 months ago, I got blasted up there. We drank this green slime and shit. Man, I'm still hungover. That stuff's crazy.
Fair enough. Yeah. Like 40%.
Oh, it was like 120.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, those are some really good like alien stories there.
Yeah. I think it's maybe time to take it to a bit more of the paranormal side.
Yeah, so our next guest here is Riley McManus.
Thank you for coming.
Hello, thank you for having me.
So we heard a little story. It's about a woman in white.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you heard that story.
Yeah. So we wanted you to tell us a little bit about what happened to you, because we heard that it's really real.
Yeah, no, it is. I swear on it. Scout's honor on that. I was 13, probably 13, 12 years old, and I was tubing down what's like the Cam River, kind of connected to the Little Dog River.
Yeah.
And I was with a friend, and I'd watched a bunch of scary movies and stuff. I'd didn't believe in ghosts at that point. And I was going down the river, and I was just minding my own business, kind of, and I looked to like my right, and I just saw what I thought at the time like I would describe it as a white lady, transparent, long hair,
Spooky.
long white kind of robe looking thing, just standing there kind of like this, staring at me. And I looked, I was like, what? And that as I was going by, because the current kept going down the river, it just just turned its head. So then I knew it wasn't just something, a shadow or something that I saw. And I actually flipped over in my tube and ended up having to like paddle back. And I ran to my parents and I told them about it. And they're like, "Okay, you've watched too many scary movies. That's not a ghost. You probably just saw something." I let it go, kind of, until a couple years later when I had a few people camping in my field. And one of the neighbors came over, because this all happened like at my camp, which used to be an old farmstead, kind of like out Kaministiquia, Silver Falls area. My neighbor came over and actually came up to my dad and was like, "Are you going to let them like tent in the field like that far out?" My dad thought, well, bears aren't going to come. There's a fire. We're loud. They're not in it. They are. They'll
safe.
scream. We'll be okay. He's like, "No, I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about the white lady." And my dad dropped his beer. He just dropped it and was like, "Okay, I've been talking to my daughter." And he's like, "No, my grandma told me the story of the white lady who haunts the falls." So that right then, my dad believed me. And he kind of like told us that the neighbor said, and if we wanted to come back in, we could. But I've never seen her again. But I actually found out like later on in life that my grandpa wrote a book about my grandma, that's whose family's farm it was. And when it was like in the 1809 or 1890 or something like that, two indigenous men were canoeing down the river and their canoe flipped. And out of respect, they buried them both on the point. So I think what I actually saw wasn't a white lady, because traditional clothing is longer hair, longer robe. I think I saw an indigenous man. And he is guarding the falls, making sure nobody will
else
drown like
flips
they
and drowns.
did. Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was it was and still to this day I feel because of that one experience I'm almost more open to almost seeing ghosts.
Now, have you had any experiences, not necessarily with the white figure, I guess we should call them, but with ghosts or paranormal entities in general?
See, I think that's what opened it almost, because now I believed it. Like, the people say that third eye, if you believe
you just
it.
see to believe.
Yeah, kind of, And then I always thought, when you get ringing in your ear, I always feel that's someone trying to talk to you, just in a different frequency. So when your ears get plugged out of nowhere and you're trying to pop them, I think that's someone like looking after, over you or whatever, covering your ears.
Like,
not
don't
letting
listen
you,
to this.
don't listen to this, listen to yourself. Like almost like that kind of thing. So I've had those experiences before, and now that I'm more in tuned, I guess, to it, I tend to, I guess, try to, I don't know, listen. Not like I know it, not like I understand it or anything, but I kind of, I've been more like, you see little things or like little orbs or something like that, but never where I've talked to a ghost or anything like that.
Have you ever thought about maybe going to that point and just standing there?
Well, okay, so I did kind of go back, and actually, I can't believe I didn't even bring that up. What the weirdest thing was, right where I had sworn that I saw that white lady, the trees were bent, not broken, bent, like as if some force had like been there and just nicely bent the trees back, which I thought, but I've never seen anything like, anything else but that, but I haven't gone back recently, because now I'm almost too much of a believer. I'm a little too scared.
You think something's gonna happen.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't want her to like go in, or I don't know, girl
take
or guy.
You over,
Exactly. I become the white lady.
Oh my God. So that has been some like a really interesting tale, and I certainly think that it did happen there.
I think we could just send a team one day to go check it out.
Yeah, no, that would be awesome. Yeah.
All right. Unfortunately, that is all of the time we have with you. But thank you so
for opening everyone's mind, and maybe they believe a little bit more.
Yeah, and you know what? You guys are more than welcome. If you make another segment, come out there. We'll film one.
Yeah, awesome. That'd be great.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
All right, thank you. That was pretty crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. Now it kind of reminded me of my own ghost story. So when I used to live in my old house, every night, right at bedtime, I would feel these cold hands wrap around my rib cage. Now, some folks say that like it might have just been a tingling thing, but it only happened in that house.
And when you were going to sleep.
Yeah. So I think I had a ghost watching over me and kind of like protecting me and not
Yeah.
necessarily doing malevolent things, but
just checking in on you.
Yeah, and ever since I've moved, I haven't felt that presence. So
Yeah, I think I had the same one. It was like, I was young, but it was way back when my nana passed away, and I was in the bathroom, and then I was looking in the mirror, and then I swear that I just saw her standing behind me.
Oh yeah.
But that could also be multiple things like shock and stuff like that. But I swear I saw her right in the mirror. It was weird.
So now some folks believe that ghosts aren't actually spirits, but they're like a person's soul crossing over from another universe just for a second, which ties into our next topic. We had our field correspondent Jade go on and learn all she could about the Mandela effect.
Yeah, and if you don't know what that is, you're about to find out. You might forget in the future, but for now, you're about to see a really cool video.
Yeah, so keep your eyes and ears open.
Hey, what's up, you guys? Today we're going to be talking about conspiracy theories and, most importantly, the Mandela effect. So basically, the Mandela effect happened because a guy named Nelson Mandela supposedly died in 2013, but a lot of people remember him dying in prison in around 1980 to 1990. This got people wondering why it's changed and wondering why the theory was happening. A lot of other Mandela effects popped up on top of that, such as Forrest Gump. Now, in the movies, he says life is like a box of chocolates. That's what everyone remembers. Well, now it's life was like a box of chocolates. And that's not the only two Mandela effects out there. There's so many more. Like Jiffy peanut butter. It's now Jif peanut butter. It blows my mind. Another Mandela effect would be in Freddie Mercury's song, We Are the Champions. At the end of the song, he says, of the world. Well, now he doesn't say of the world, and it's just empty music, and it just feels empty. So behind the Mandela effect, a lot of people, especially including me, think that in 2012, the world actually did end, but not this world, like a different world in our dimension, another dimension died off, and a lot of people got brought to this dimension, and all our memories came with us, except for like kind of like deja vu memories, where you would have it in the back of your mind, and whenever you see it, you're like, oh, I know that, but it's wrong. So for me, a lot of things have changed. Mirror, mirror on the wall. It's now magic mirror on the wall. Looney Tunes. Tunes used to be spelt Toons. Now it's Tunes. And it makes no sense because they're cartoons, not based on music like Tunes. It kind of freaks me out in a way, because what if life as we know it did end, and our dimension, we got switched here from another dimension, and half the people in this dimension don't remember anything, and we're kind of just taking over. There was one person, I watched a video, and a Mandela effect happened right in front of her eyes, where a sign that was, I believe it was white, turned black, and then it turned purple. And she filmed the whole thing. It made me freaked out, and I wasn't sure if it was after that, I wasn't sure if it was actually us switching into a different dimension, or if somebody's time traveling and changing these things. Time travel would be realistic. I do believe that a lot of people are time traveling and just not telling the world about it. But I'll get into that in another conspiracy theory vlog. But yeah, the Mandela effect is overall a little bit creepy and a little bit scary to think about, but in the end, I'd like to know everything that's happening. Yeah, so I'll see you next time on my vlog. Bye!
That was pretty spooky. I mean, like, I don't even feel like I'm in the right universe anymore.
I think maybe we did die.
Yeah, Billy, do you have anything to say on the topic of the Mandela effect?
Including that you are dead.
Yeah.
So.
Wait, Billy, what? There's a person here?
Who are you?
Who are you?
We weren't supposed to have a guest here, but
Yeah.
somehow we have a guest in the studio.
Oh, hey.
What is your name?
Oh, my name's Roger.
Roger.
Yeah.
Roger.
That's not really supposed to be disclosed right now.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
A friend of Billy's. Yeah.
Okay.
Friend of
Invited me.
Billy's.
Yeah, he invited me. Yeah, man.
Okay. So what brings you to our show,
Yeah.
Conspiracy Hunters?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, okay, let me be serious.
This is serious. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I came here to tell you something important.
Okay.
I saw your podcast or
Yes.
this show,
Mhm.
and I had to come in.
How
and
did
tell
you see
this.
when we were performing? How did you even get here?
That's not important.
Okay,
What is
okay.
important is that I have something very dangerous. There's a thing I've been rooting in for about 3-4 years, maybe, and I can't really disclose that. But the thing is that I've discovered something about Russia.
Russia.
Russia, like Russia?
Russia.
Or like Russia.
Russia.
Okay.
It's
Oh,
Russia.
okay.
Russia.
So I was very curious about the 2016 election, and I was very put off by Bernie Sanders. So I decided to do some digging on
Okay.
him. I discovered that he wears a lot of makeup. Like, I've discovered he has, get this, a birthmark on his head.
A Bernie mark.
It's more than that.
Oh.
Are you familiar with the Russian leader of Gorbachev?
No.
Vladimir?
No, Gorbachev. He was one of the presidents of Russia. He was the guy he was the person in charge during the Berlin Wall thing. He had a birthmark on his head, very, very similar to what I found out Bernie has.
Yeah.
And this has led me to believe, and this has led me to an investigation of my own. I learned that Gorbachev is Bernie Sanders.
Oh my God.
That's a pretty big allegation.
It is, but I'm still in the process of wondering why. But I have learned that right now Russia is not currently in control of Putin. It's currently in control of Gorbachev, or Bernie, as I like to call him.
Really?
Or Burns.
Yeah.
Mr. Burns, as I like to call him.
Mr. Burns.
Yeah,
okay.
Mr. Burns. Yeah.
Mr.
Thing
Burns
is,
taking over.
Yeah. The thing is, Putin. See, did some digging on the reason why his name's Putin.
Yeah.
His dad was, get this, the inventor of poutine.
Wow.
Like the Canadian delicacy?
The Canadian delicacy, yes. I did research on this. This is like deep thing. Like, this is deep, man. I've learned that Putin is named Putin because his dad was a French Canadian named Poutine. Do you see the connections here?
Poutine.
Yeah,
there's
so
connections.
You're saying he is a food.
Yes. Yeah.
He named him after the food.
Yeah. His second greatest achievement is named after his greatest.
Why wouldn't they take credit for that? Poutine is so amazing.
And how is
because he wanted to tell us something. He wanted to tell us that Russia's not real.
Russia's not? No, but I
but
mean,
it's not, and it's also not being ruled by Putin. Putin is just some French Canadian who lives in Quebec or something.
So they have a poutine sitting on the desk running it.
Yeah.
But we have our special team that we just sent there. Are they going to be safe?
No.
Do they turn them into poutines? Are we eating our fellow
never
Canadians?
know. You never know.
Oh my God.
We don't know what they put into those cheese curds. Have you ever noticed that cheese curds taste really weird?
It's kind of squishy. Like
Yeah, it's kind of squishy. It's kind of fleshy, and they seem a little bit. They're not. They seem a little unnaturally bleached and such. It's weird.
They're so white.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why they're so unnaturally white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how is Gorbachev running the operation?
Yes.
Bernie's running it.
The thing is that Russia has been screwed up so much that Gorbachev he tried to keep power. So when he left, he put a puppet in place. He still runs the government. And his puppet is all the leaders leading. Putin is the first one to rebel and his dad was the one to suggest the idea of Putin. There's a long list of things here, but the thing is that Gorbachev, because he knows that Russia is so screwed up, he decided to move to America and change his name, his alias, everything. He's now Bernie Sanders.
Running for president.
Because if you ever notice, Bernie Sanders is his entire methodology seems a little bit like Gorbachev's. If you look deep into it, you'll see it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This all
So did
started
his plan fail then? Because he didn't win.
He didn't win the presidency, which I don't know how, but I guess no one likes a communist.
Yeah.
But I know because it's 2019, I can't say this, so I might have to disappear after this.
You know, red, white, and blue.
Red, white, and blue.
He's putting that.
How are they not coming after you? Where are you from then? Are you from Russia?
No, I'm not from Russia.
How do you know Billy?
Yes.
Billy? Oh, he's a friend of mine.
So what is your part in this whole scenario? What do you do?
I'm just the guy who does the research. Billy, he helps me with some of it. Yeah. He gets the clues from way back when.
He's been working under our noses that whole time.
Oh my God. Are you sure coming on here and telling us this is not going to have repercussions?
It definitely will, but I know the risks. Yeah. I have a lot of plans. This is not just a bow tie.
Yeah. Wait, Mitch, are you hearing that?
Sounds like static. Wait, do they know you're here?
They probably do. I
think they're coming.
Roger, run! Get out of here!
Run.
Go!
Oh my God,
ladies and gentlemen,
that was
my heart's racing.
God. What did we just uncover?
Are we allowed to air that?
I don't know.
Well,
I hope they're not coming after us too.
Yeah. Wait. Neil didn't take off his hat that whole time.
Neil.
Is he undercover?
Neil, what have you been doing? He's working with them.
Get him out of here.
Neil.
Oh my.
He's been a spy this whole time.
It's been such an interesting show. Thank you so much for all staying tuned. Yeah, you better put that on.
Neil. Treated him like a son.
Yeah, we've learned about Mars. We've learned a lot about the USA.
Yes.
We've learned about the white lady.
We've learned pretty much every angle of conspiracies we learned about today. But
yeah,
we haven't had enough random.
Yeah,
I think that's what we need in our life.
Yeah. So, as a special part 2 to our alien interviews, we had our team once again go out and interview people about their own certain conspiracies. Should we roll it as we go interrogate our once good friend Neil?
Yeah. And I hope one day we're back with another show and the government doesn't come get us, but you'll find that out next time if we're back.
If we're back. All right, enjoy.
Have you ever been attacked by a ghost or anything like that?
Oh yeah, I was abused by one. It wasn't fun. It wasn't a pleasant feeling.
Could you go into that a little bit more?
Well, she just wanted to get it on, and yeah, I was like, all right, it's been like 400 years. All right, let's do this.
All right.
For ghosts, I think maybe, like your spirits are kind of trapped here kind of thing sometimes. Maybe you did something bad. Maybe it's just you have unwanted, got some business you need to do, stuff like that.
Oh, the Illuminati? Maybe, yeah, I think so. Because Jim Carrey, Jim Carrey's like kind of talking about that, trying to expose him and stuff. I think it's pretty cool.
A lot of like the celebrities like sell their souls, or like the New World Order, that there's like one government or something that's controlling like all the famous people. That's about it.
All right.
That one's definitely a crazy one that's out there. I don't understand how someone can think that the world is flat, given picture proof from astronauts.
The Mandela effect? Oh, yeah, that one is an interesting one. Yeah, I do know I've fallen for that myself a few times. Like, for some reason in my memory, the Monopoly guy, he always had a monocle, but turns out he never had one, apparently. So then there's also the whatchamacallit, the one with Jif peanut butter. It turns out it's just Jif. I always thought it was Jiffy, but so.
Apparently, like Avril Lavigne has been dead for years or something like that, and they've swapped her out with another lookalike of Avril Lavigne, you know. And I thought that was pretty funny. That's really all I know about it, though. I could see it because I think they were like, man, her appearance on stage looks different. Like her music video, she doesn't look the same. But it's also like, guys, it's been like 10 years since she made that, so I don't know.
Conspiracies do you believe in? Give us something.
I don't have anything.
Area 51.
No.
Anything. Just go off on anything you want.
To be honest, I'm an atheist, so I don't even believe in that.
Actually.
Thanks for joining us on our journey of uncovering the truth. And remember, they're always watching, always waiting, so keep your eye open. I'm Just Mitch. And I'm Professor Adam. And this has been Conspiracy Hunters.